Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 32 of the Galactic Windows Space Podcasts. My name is Nick, and I'm usually known as the Orbital Alliance, right here on the internet.
And I am Tan, also known as Chasing the Milk.
Oh yeah, buddy.
How's it going? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, dude. I'm feeling great.
Feeling great?
New year, new orbital.
New year, same milk.
Same milk, yeah.
Yeah. Still spoiled.
Day
Spoiled
old milk.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What up, y'all?
Welcome in, everybody who's tuning in with us on YouTube, live in the chat. Good to see everyone here. We see lots of old friends coming back for more. We have not scared anybody off as that we know of.
Not yet.
Not yet. It's good. It's good to have our friends back here. And for those of you joining in on TikTok, welcome in. Be sure to hop over to the long form platform so you can come and participate in the live chat. You can be asking questions of myself or Tan as we talk about space and astronomy, which is the whole reason we host this podcast, is to help people just get more generally informed about those topics. We love to have people get excited about the night sky and to know just fun facts about what's going on in space, because who doesn't love to know that? And I always want to know more of those things all the time, and every time I get the chance to share space with somebody, you always get to see that little like twinkle in their eye, go, whoa, no way. You know, like even somebody who otherwise would say, I don't really care about that. And suddenly they go, that's cool. And that brings me so much joy. So hopefully if you're tuning in tonight, and even if you don't know anything about space, this is your chance to walk away like knowing just a little bit more and go, that's cool. And I now know that.
Dude, I feel like I can see that twinkle in your eye right now. I love how
Ding.
always speaking with so much conviction whenever it comes to space. I love it, man.
Love it.
I wish everyone was excited as you are about space all the time.
You can be. That's the thing. I'm just some dude.
You're just a chill dude.
I'm just a chill dude, you know?
Yeah.
Who loves space. I'm no astrophysicist. I'm not an astronaut. I'm not a rocket engineer. I'm just some dude. So those are my qualifications. And here I am, hosting a space podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Look at all these members in here.
So many.
I like it. I like it a lot. Get outside with Miguel. What's up, man? Happy New Year's.
Welcome.
Also,
in, Miguel,
do I know you, Miguel? Are you the Miguel? Are you my friend in IRL? Angie's in here. Kayla, Blue Eyed, awesome, cool. Also, if you guys are, so sorry, man. If you guys are over on the talk, hopefully you guys can see my pin. But if you are watching, I won't be able to read your comments. We are streaming a stream. So if you guys do want to engage and hang out and ask me questions, you do have to head over to the other platform. It is! No way! Yo, welcome in, man. So happy to see you here. Miguel's a super talented astrophotographer.
Yo, that's what I'm talking about. What's up, Miguel?
In real life, geez. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. That's funny. Happy to have you here, man.
Tan, right out of the gate, man, you've got a big weekend coming up, and we kind of talked about that a few weeks ago. So what do you got coming up, dude? I'm
going to be out in Los Angeles. I'm gonna be out in California from the 9th through the 14th, and there's a special event. There's a reason why I'm gonna be out there.
Yep.
Your boy Chasing the Milk placed top 20 in one of the categories on TikTok. There was like this TikTok competition where you stream and you and your community push to attend this live in-person event, and we were one of the fortunate creators that got a placement, and we're getting to go. So Live Fest is the name of the event. It's basically like a red carpet Oscar/gala event for TikTok creators, and the event's going to be held in person in LA on the 10th. So I'll be out there, and I'll be doing a lot of other cool things too. But super excited. Yeah, it hasn't really. I think it's going to hit whenever I'm on the plane or whenever I touch down.
Or whenever the paparazzi shows up.
Yeah, there's going to be so many of them.
Can I be your paparazzi just to make you look cool? Can I just come in?
Please. Dude. Yeah. The crazy thing is people who see that like probably won't even realize what's going on, but they're just like, I should probably go over there and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, please make me look cooler.
Yeah. All right. I'll be there. I'll
Nice.
buy a spare ticket on the same flight.
Yeah.
I'll be waiting at LAX for you.
With a sign and everything.
Yeah.
For the famous Chasing the Milk.
It just says, "Ahaha, man." Ashley,
Hello.
kicking the door down. I still can't find the members button. Hello.
Hello. Dude, this is our first gift of the new year, right?
It is, yeah.
How exciting.
It's okay. If I remember correctly, the last one you sent also had a typo. I think you spelled "did" as "dod," and it's keeping the joy levels high. So I'm here for it. So please keep making typos because they make them extra fun, and I'm here for it all the way.
We're all about the typos here.
Yeah. I expect every super chat or super thanks or super sticker to have a typo in it, intentional typos. But yeah, thank you, Ashley, so much for the support. We appreciate you.
It's the $sign. Yeah, let me know if you see the $sign. I know this is a mysterious problem for some people, so we need to get to the bottom of this.
We do. The mysterious, invisible $sign button to become a member. Mm-hmm. It's elusive, and it has been playing games with us.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan of it. Oh man,
my star went from green to blue. Hopefully that's a good thing.
Wait.
It just means you've officially been promoted to badass, Richard Jones. Right below the gift. There's
a chance that maybe it's counted as January as the second month that you are a member, and you got upgraded to a different color star. But that's quite possible. Yo.
Dang. Right off the bat? This is how we're starting out the new year?
Just like
with
out of the park.
5 gifted memberships? Holy crap.
Thank you so much, Richard Jones.
Alex is in here. My dude, Marky.
What's up, Alex?
What's up? Thank you so freaking much. VIP. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
Thank you. Everybody, if you're in the chat, make sure you're subscribed to the Orbital Alliance and go into a video like this video, click join, and then click the 3 dots up there where it says accept gifts. And if you do that, you might get gifted a membership by Artie Jones, 00821 in the chat, who has been extremely generous with gifting many, many memberships over the last now 4 weeks, I think. And many people in the chat have received those and get the perks of being a member on the channel and supporting the podcast. So huge.
Extremely generous member here.
So Tan, you're going to Live Fest, and that's going to be your weekend. You're going to be in LA, and you get to meet a ton of creators that are just like you, who stream all the time. How many of them do you think will be astronomy creators, or do you think you'll be the only one?
I think I'm going to be the only one.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I hope I'm not. I think it would be really cool, but I just I feel like I'm 99.999% sure I'm going to be the only one, and I don't know. It feels nice. If I feel very honored to be able to be the face of astronomy. So I just hope I don't make a fool of myself. I hope I don't step on a banana and fall or say something silly. Yeah, very grateful.
Man, well, I mean, I hope that nobody drops any bananas. So if you see Donkey Kong walking around, run away. Run far away from him.
Okay.
But dude, really, that is a huge honor to be perhaps the only astronomy creator there. So, I mean, if there's anybody to represent us, it's you, man. And I'm extremely happy for you to have that chance. And I cannot wait to hear about all the fun things you're going to do.
Yeah, there's a lot, and I don't want to spoil it. There's going to be a few really cool opportunities that I'm going to get to do while I'm out there outside of the event. You guys gotta help me figure out what would be a sneaky way to try to get people to be inspired. I want to convert everyone at Live Fest to be a stargazer. How does one do that?
If you had time, I would say like print trading cards and hand them out with like space pictures you've taken or something, you know? I don't know. I mean, it would take some money, but
I'm just going to go to each person and say, do you have a few minutes to talk about stargazing? Our Lord and Savior.
Our Lord and Savior, Jupiter and Saturn.
Yeah. Something along the lines of that. That'll work for sure.
Yeah, I think you'll go far. You will be the only one on the one side of the auditorium, and just everyone else is like sitting on the other side. Your own section.
That's super funny.
Do you have anything special that you are going to do, or are you just kind of going to show up and blend in?
I don't know yet. Last year was really interesting how they had it. It was basically a party. I don't think like I'm gonna have an opportunity to like I'm not gonna be on a stage making a speech or anything. There might be some like interviews going around. If there is, I'm gonna try to squeeze in one of those. But as far as the event itself, I think the biggest thing I want to do is network. I really want to meet other people and kind of just hear about their story, because these are conversations that I won't get to have often, like in my own circle of friends, you know? So to be able to be in a room full of other creators, people just like me, but doing different things, I think that's an opportunity that just won't come up often. So I'm going to really utilize my time to try to network as much as I can.
Sure. Yeah, good call, man. You never know what might happen. All it takes is one little spark.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Things could change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bring a projector?
Ooh, yeah, you could do that.
Maybe I'll just bring a telescope, Blue-Eyed.
just over your shoulder like a freaking freaking RPG. Just
It won't look suspicious at all.
Nope. You won't get tackled, I promise.
Yeah. Bring some reflector mags for props. Ooh, that's a good idea.
Man. Well, dude, I wish you the best of luck. Will you be back in time for Monday? I just realized we never talked about that.
I'm gonna be back on the 14th.
Okay.
Which is Tuesday.
Okay.
Oh no.
No worries, dude. We'll talk about that. We can make it work.
I wonder. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it for sure. But I want to make sure that you go and party and do not have duties to attend to. When you're away, man.
But dude, if I'm away, this might be the first episode that I miss out on.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I don't know if I want to break that streak. Maybe I can. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Right on. But either way, I'm stoked out of my mind for you, man. You got to come back for the following one after that. What is that? The 20th, and come with some stories, maybe some pictures for everybody to see. Because I think I speak for everybody who's in the chat who supports and loves you, that we all want to see like the cool things you get to experience at this, you know?
So
if you're willing to share it, we're here to listen and watch.
I'm going to gatekeep it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a crazy thing to do? Is go to this event and just not talk about it ever? Like, just don't tell anybody anything about it.
Right. Yep.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yep.
Tom Hiles in here in the chat. Johnny Rocks. What's up, man? What is going on? So good to see everyone here. Again, if you guys are new here, especially on the talk side, just know that we are streaming on the other platform. So if you try chatting with me, I promise I'm not ignoring you. I can't see your comments. So if you do want to engage, you got to come over to the other platform over here. The Galactic Windows Space Podcast. You can probably, I have it pinned somewhere here, so you can see it. But yeah, we'd love to have you guys over here because we're going to talk about space tonight. Tonight's episode is going to be, for me, it feels like we're going back to the roots, where the seed was planted.
Yeah, for sure. We wanted to break in the new year with just some like space chat, calm chatter from outer space.
Yeah, just some good old chill space chat.
Want to just talk about some things that we love talking about, and some of the things like what does it take to go to space? Like that's one of those topics that I feel like most people are just curious about, and we can just go back and forth about it. I also wanted to talk about one of my favorite passions that we're wrapping right here on my shirt.
I didn't even notice that at first, man.
Yeah, right, dude. The International Space Station. I can't talk about it enough. We've mentioned it several times here on the show, and I thought it'd be cool to kind of give you guys a little bit of a tour of like what it's like, what it's made up of, so you guys could navigate the International Space Station yourself if you ever get the chance to go there. It's possible. You want to know your way around, right? Like, Tan, what if you get to go next week and you're like, you show up and you're like, I don't know where to go. Where do I go? Then you're gonna be like, at least I watched episode 32 of the Galactic Windows Space Podcast because now I know where to go.
Got some cliff notes handy. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Just came over from TikTok.
Yo,
Chris, you the man.
That's a legend right there. Yeah.
If you come over from TikTok, say it in the chat, and then you will just, for what it's worth, get a shout out.
And everybody who's in the live chat, put some crowns for all the people who move over.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
I want to see some crowns because, excuse me, you dropped this.
Exactly.
Oh yes, that's Blue Eye. That's the right.
That's it right there.
Symbol emoji. Faux show. Okay, cool. Tan, what does it take to go to space?
Couldn't tell you a lot. What's it takes to space? I would say just a very high level of engineering, ambition, and just a hell of a lot of teamwork. Those are the things that come to my head. Absolutely.
I think that's pretty dang spot on. Like, as the core elements of what it takes to go into Earth orbit, it takes a lot of intelligence and engineering. And I mean, you said teamwork. That one, like, in the best way, caught me off guard because cooperation and like, there's no one individual that can make that happen. But Tom Heil in the chat, money. Yeah.
Lots of it.
Yeah.
So much money. Yeah. Can we say TT on here? Yeah, you can. I don't think there are any rules on YouTube. Oh. Gotta walk on eggshells. This is super interesting because I'm streaming on TikTok, but we're streaming the other platform. Until we figure out how to multi stream it, this is how we just gotta walk on eggshells sometimes. But if you're over on the YT, I'd say it's the Wild West, and anything goes.
Yep.
Well, almost anything.
Accurate. Yeah. So let's do this. So here are some of the ways that one can go to space currently, 2025. So if you have always had that itching dream to go into space around Earth or beyond, these are the ways you can do that. You can become an astronaut through your government if they have an astronaut program. So NASA, the United States has one. Russia, you can become a cosmonaut. Europe, in the European Space Agency, you can become one there. Japan has one. Australia now has some. They're training their own astronauts. India is currently, they have astronauts, but they're building their own way of getting astronauts into space. There's lots of opportunities, and most of those didn't exist even just a few years ago. So you can do that, which is probably, I would argue, is one of the harder ways to do it, but is so far the conventional way, dating back to the 1960s that people have been doing this. And it's always been sort of a rigorous career, because this is not just like, hey, I'm going to go and be a space tourist. This is your job. You're performing tasks for your government. You're a civil servant, so to speak. So if you worked for NASA as an astronaut, you would have to go through a absolute crazy process of applying. It's a very in-depth application, and the criteria keeps rising for what it takes to really get in. But in the same way, it kind of opens up. It's like a higher bar, but it's a wider bar. I don't know if that makes much sense, and I'll kind of explain more. You now need at least a master's degree and some X number of years in a professional field that you love to apply. And you can also be military as well. So if you have military experience, you can also apply. And these applications only happen every couple of years. And then if you get selected, if you go through the whole, like you're talking like, I think 18,000 something applicants in the last round. And it gets funneled down to like a small class of like 8 to like 20 people.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. It's like super, super wide field of people. And they try to pick as diverse of a class as possible. So people from all different backgrounds, different genders, different races, and they try to make sure everybody can cooperate really well. Stacey Morgan, who we had back on the show in November, talked a little bit about how, I can't remember if it was on the show or if it was with us when we were speaking to her afterwards, but the astronauts, like when they go through the selection process, there's like a certain point in which they look at your resume and be like, in the application process, be like, are you actually qualified? But after that, they stop caring about that and they start caring more about, will you work well together with the other potential candidates? Are you a good people person? Are you a good leader? Are you a good teammate? Can you problem solve? Can you conflict resolve? Those things all come into play. And if you make it to that final class, then you become an astronaut candidate. Or more lovingly put, as NASA has acronyms for everything, an ASCAN, astronaut candidate. It's an ASCAN, but it's pronounced ASCAN. And
ASCAN.
Yes.
I like that.
Yep. That is not a profane term. That is a NASA term.
ASCAN.
Yes. And then you spend, I think, about 2-ish years training to qualify as an astronaut. And then once you become an astronaut, if you make it through those couple of years as an ASCAN, doing all your training, then you wait to be assigned to a mission. So you're not guaranteed to go to space anytime soon, even if you go through the rigorous selection in that round. And then once you get assigned to a mission, then you can't become a flown astronaut until you actually launch and make it past the Kármán line. And then you get your wings, so to speak. So you're officially a flown astronaut at that point. And then it's your career. You just kind of train and train and train for however long you stay in the astronaut corps. And then you become, you can hopefully be assigned to multiple missions in your career, which maybe lasts somewhere between 10 and 30 years. And they just keep cycling new people in throughout the years and cycling old ones out. Others retire and new things become available. And that's kind of how you become an astronaut the conventional way.
Dude, I think all my dreams of becoming an astronaut has just went down the drain. That's a lot. I had no idea. I thought you just threw a resume, got a phone call a few weeks later,
right?
Show up,
and you
and
go
then that's
like,
it.
"Do I get benefits?
Yeah. How much do I get paid?
Yeah, what's the pay? Yeah. Can I get some more money?
Yeah. Tell me about the PTO.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's quite the journey, and like the key component there that I've read and learned about is that to be really qualified, like, yes, you do need to have a certain tier of education. It used to only be a bachelor's degree, and they've upped it to master's degree. But ultimately what they want are people who are passionate about the career fields they're in. They do want a certain number of years in a career field, but like they're looking for people who are fired up. So maybe you're a teacher, maybe you're a geologist, maybe you're an astrophysicist, maybe you're a mechanical engineer. It really doesn't matter. You just have to be extremely interested in what you do and prove that you have focus and determination and the desire to grow and learn in what you're doing. And yeah, a lot of those skills are translatable to what you do potentially as an astronaut. Construction of a space station, science experiments aboard the space station, piloting a vehicle. Maybe you were a pilot in the Air Force or in the Navy, or in the Marines. You can translate a lot of those skills, but it doesn't necessarily need to be a one-for-one equation. But they just want people who are passionate. So you can be anybody, really. And yeah, you do need to meet some tricky qualifications for education. That takes time, that takes money, but just love what you do, and that'll get you there. Because they're going to nix all the people who are checked out, and the people who are kind of meh about their careers, or people who hate their jobs. Because they're going to,
yeah,
they're not even going to have they're going to give you a second glance.
That makes sense. I mean, if you're going to be somewhere, if you're going to exit the entire planet, I sure would hope that you're just not one of those guys that are dreading your job.
Right.
Your alarm clock goes off. Oh, got to do a spacewalk again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Wow. I love what you mentioned about that. There's no being an astronaut. There's it accepts all. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be in a very, very narrow window. You could just be a normal person who is extremely passionate about what you do. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's
Alex.
Oh, Howard was so unqualified. Yeah, Howard Wolowitz in The Big Bang Theory. He was extremely unqualified.
I still need to watch that.
It's so good, dude. It's so good.
Tiffy's in here. Act normal.
What's up, Tiffy? How's it going?
I'll volunteer my time. Does that help? Maybe.
I mean, you never know. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of the conventional way. And one of the things that we also talked about was just cooperation and being a team player. Are you going to be a jerk when something goes wrong, or when you mess up, or you get something changed on your mission or whatever? That's not somebody who wants to spend millions and tens of millions of dollars to get up to space with, or to cause greater problems. Everybody's had those people in their workplace, right? The person who just doesn't cooperate, even though they're all on the same team. Somebody in the pipeline at the office is just the one that nobody wants to go talk to because they just are grumpy all the time. They don't even allow those people to make it up there. And yeah, it doesn't mean that, astronauts are humans too. They all make mistakes. They all have bad days. But they are selected to be less explosive, less problematic. Or even if they have those tendencies, which again, we're all humans, we all do. It's how to mitigate them, how to be trained to problem solve on the fly, how to keep a cool head, and how to make sure that the mission and the benefits of the team overall are top priority. They're not going to put their own emotions ahead of everyone else. Those are the kinds of people that they bring on. And there's a show a couple of years ago on TV, and I'm struggling to remember the name of it because I think it actually got canceled after one season. It was a space show, and I got really excited about a new space show. And there was a crew of international astronauts and cosmonauts put together to go on this mission, and the main character gets put on there. And there's the Americans, and there's a Japanese person, and then there's the Russian guy. And guess what they did? What classic trope they did? They made the Russian guy super angry and really snarky, and kind of made him to be this sort of renegade, almost villainous personality, which is really uncalled for, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it from the second that happened. The show, it was one of the few shows I've ever watched on television where I said, I can't watch anymore. I watched one episode and I said, I'm done. I really don't do that ever. I really don't.
Wow.
I thought that was so completely unrealistic of the space industry that they would never have picked, Roscosmos would never have selected a cosmonaut that petty and like bitter and cranky. I mean, it was just like a really archetypal, horribly written character, and I thought it was like totally not fair, because I was like, this. I know it would be boring if everybody just played nice. That's not good TV. But this was like beyond. It was like way too far.
Yeah.
Like you can do this tastefully without making people look like absolutely ridiculous.
Maybe that's why they got canceled.
I mean, I think there were more reasons, but if it were up to me, I would have canceled it for that reason. Yeah.
Damn.
Nick, I totally thought you were wearing a beret for like 3 minutes.
Wait, you're not?
I'm not. I got a bill, dude.
Ooh.
I'm like a duck.
That's a cool hat, though, man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's a little Christmas gift, eh?
Sheesh. It's crispy.
Wee. If I wear a beret, you'll know. You thought it was an Italian man's cap. Molto bene.
What does that mean?
Very good. Io sono italiano. I am Italian. I'm not Italian.
I thought there was a French theme tonight. That's the next episode.
Yes. I only know a little bit of French. What's the... Je ne parle pas français. I don't speak French.
Ooh,
I know that much.
I've never seen this side of you, bro.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I forgot how to say the ISS in French. En français.
Oh, yeah. I know how to say it in German.
Go ahead.
International Raumstation.
Dude. That was pretty sick.
It's probably not the best pronunciation of it, but that's at least how you would say it. But
I gotta learn how to say it in Vietnamese. I'll figure it out.
Dude. You got to do it.
International Space Station. Did I nail it? Nailed it. Guys, I don't want to brag, but where did Nick go? Where did Nick go? Oh, good times.
Oh, dude, that was so good. I was not ready for that.
It's so right. It's so right. It's all right. Space Station number 1.
I know. I had to feature that.
Oh, that's so funny. We're getting canceled.
Yes.
We're getting canceled.
Well, just me.
Oh, that's right. I get the card.
Yeah, you do. You get the free pass.
Yeah, you get a pass too, though, because you're with me. So we're good. Whew. I never knew I could speak Vietnamese. That's super funny. Oh, we need to get back on track. What are we talking about? Space?
It's, something about, I don't know, tacos or hats in French.
Oh. Dude, there's 19 people in here.
Whoa, where'd you guys all come from? You guys all interested in space or something? Dang.
Yeah, this is cool. Well, quick, we gotta impress them or something.
We do. So let's keep talking about how to be an astronaut.
Okay.
So anyway, that show got canceled, and I'm glad it did. I'm sorry for the people who lost work, but that was like one of those things I was like, write a different show where the writing isn't so cheap, but that's okay. Anyway, so the other ways of going to space in 2025, the commercial space sector has been exploding over the past couple of years in ways that it hasn't ever before. So there are lots of companies that are pioneering different ways to be launch providers, meaning they offer commercial rocket solutions, launches of payloads into Earth orbit. Companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, now companies like Vast and Rocket Lab and Astra. Gosh, the list keeps going on. There's all different kinds of things happening. And of course, SpaceX is currently the only company privately that is launching humans into space. They've been certified and they've been doing it for years, since 2020. So this will be year 5 they've been doing it. And soon to be others as well, which is really, really great. There have been other companies who've been launching on suborbital flights like Virgin Galactic and Blue Origin, which are kind of just little hops. They don't go around planet Earth, but they kind of like just do a little arc. So you kind of go into space for a little bit and you come right back down. So if you want to go to space, that's actually your best way to do it, technically. You won't be up there for long. It's like 4 minutes or something like that. It's like some super short amount of time, but you'll get to go to space. And a lot of those seats that they have are either purchasable or are given away via contests. So like you guys do not need to have a master's degree or need to be rich. I mean, maybe you could be rich, but that would certainly help. You also don't need to be in a certain career field necessarily. Those are some more opportunities. And there's been a lot of everyday people, or I don't know, just people who would otherwise not be career astronauts who've been on these flights, who've been in weightless environments and have seen the curvature of the Earth for a couple of minutes and have been labeled as like qualified astronauts, or flown astronauts, which is amazing. And there's going to be some even more cool opportunities coming up that aren't necessarily rockets. There's going to be one, what is it? World perspective, something like that. It's basically a balloon that has like a little room under it. It's a giant balloon, and it takes you up to a certain altitude. Yeah.
Here, Tom was talking about. Yeah,
Tom literally just brought it up too.
I've never heard of this. High altitude balloon ship concepts.
Mm-hmm. It's totally a thing, and I'm looking forward to that because I think there's going to be a lot of contests and giveaways through different organizations over the years coming up for chances. So you get to be in this. Imagine like a circular room with windows all around it, and they'll just slowly take you up. Way less risky than a rocket because there's no propellant. You're not like launching on a controlled bomb. You can just kind of coast up there, and they have safety features and spare parachutes and all that kind of stuff, so you can like safely get back down.
That's crazy that we can do that.
I know.
That's a thing.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
Just us normies can do. Maybe we need to enter a raffle, dude. Like that would be crazy if one of us got to go.
So fun fact, I've actually applied to be on a couple of these things. Like I entered to win a seat on the Inspiration 4 mission in 2021, but I obviously didn't get it. And I was really hoping because there was 4 seats on that. One was the mission commander, Jared Isaacman, who was kind of running the thing. And the other one was given to Haley Arsenault, the cancer survivor, because it was a St. Jude Children's Research Hospital fundraiser. So she was kind of representing that you can be a children's cancer survivor and go to space. And she was the first ever person with a prosthetic limb, or like it was like a construct in her leg that was prosthetic with a prosthesis to go to space. So she kind of like made history.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah. And I want to say she was the youngest person to go to space as well. And then they gave away another seat to somebody who it was like an artist, or they had to leverage their creativity in a way that was like made like an online store that supported the fundraising. And then they gave someone else who donated a seat away to somebody who just donated. It was like a random raffle. And it was like some random person they picked, Chris Zimbrowski. They brought him in.
So cool.
And now he works at Blue Origin, the rocket company.
Oh, no way. That planted the seed.
Right? Well, and Haley works at SpaceX now. And Cyan Proctor, she's the other one. She also works in the space industry now too, which is like super, super cool.
Dude, I don't think you could go. I don't think you can embark on a journey like that and come back home just being like a normal person. Like,
no. Yeah.
Like, I think that would just be a huge, that would be a turning point for me, for sure.
100%, dude. Well, they spent like 6 months training. Then they were up there for like 3 days, just cruising around Earth. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
There's a documentary on Netflix about that whole mission. Really, it's a tearjerker. So good. But yeah, like there's so many different opportunities to try to get into space. There's been a couple seats through Space for Humanity, which is an organization I've been applying through. I think I did 3 different times. The Citizen Astronaut program, and obviously I've had no luck with that either because it's been very selective. But they put a couple of people on Blue Origin New Shepard spacecrafts, and they've actually gone into space through that program, which is super cool.
Wow.
So
that's incredible.
There are opportunities for people who otherwise wouldn't have them, So
thanks for sharing that. I just felt like I don't know, I thought the barrier to entry was way, like, not even something that would be within sight for me.
mm-hmm.
There's hope, guys.
Yeah, dude, there is hope.
There's hope.
Yeah, well, and there, just because there's like 4 options now, doesn't mean that that's gonna go away. Like, I think in the next, like, by the end of the decade, I think we'll be seeing so many more companies rise to the occasion where they're going to provide their own rockets, their own spacecraft, their own opportunities, and those are going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, less and less selective. Companies like Axiom Space are launching private astronauts who are not career astronauts for NASA. Like, some of them are retired and now they're flying, like Peggy Whitson and Michael Lopez Alegria. Like, those guys were like legendary NASA astronauts who retired, and now they're working for Axiom, leading missions with private citizens who are coming in.
That's so cool.
Doing special missions for them, going to the International Space Station and flying on SpaceX Crew Dragons. But it's a private company. And Sierra Space is supposed to be launching people in the future. So there's like other companies that are going to have their own solutions that don't exist yet. So I would say with the next 5 years, you'll see many of them come up, and a bunch of names that do not exist right now that I guarantee will be providing seats into suborbital space or orbital space.
Heck yeah.
Dude,
I'm waiting for the day where it's like, buy a hoodie and you get 5 free entries.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We're probably not too far from it, man.
I saw question about the name of the documentary. I think it's Countdown to Space documentary. Is that it on Netflix? Countdown, Inspiration for Mission to Space. There it is. So that's what it is.
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay. I'm going to drop it in the chat.
7.8 out of 10 on IMDb. That's a must watch for me. 2021 series.
Yep. It's really, really, really freaking good. Like, if you're not crying at least a little bit.
A trailblazing mission captured in near real time as 4 crew members make history in the first all-civilian mission into orbit. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That sounds incredible.
Yep. I think there's an alternate multiverse reality where I got selected and I'd be on Netflix in the documentary.
Let me ask you something, Nick.
Yeah.
Let's say that you receive a letter in the mail.
Yep.
Congratulations, Nick. You have been selected to be one of the 4 participants of this extremely crazy mission, journey, whatever. Try to paint the canvas for me. What do you think what's going on in your head when you're reading that? What are you thinking about in terms of like your family? What is that? How do you think you would react?
I would read the letter and I go, oh man, more spam. And I just throw it in the recycling.
Probably.
Yeah. Right.
You don't even open the letter. You just look at it and you're like,
yeah, right. Yeah. It's like, oh man, you want me to probably apply for another credit card.
Yeah.
No, but to take that question actually seriously, if I were to verify that was like a real letter and it's not like a scam, I mean, I can imagine, because I feel like it's happening right now just thinking about it. But I feel like my heart would leap out of my throat, and I think I would move heaven and earth as much as I possibly could to try to make it happen. And of course, I would have to consider how that would affect people that I love and care about, and the reality of that, and that would supersede any decision to go. But yeah, I think I would know deeply in my core that it's something that if I was given this golden chance, golden opportunity, that it would be worth sourcing whatever it takes to make it happen, make it a reality,
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'd be my answer.
That's a good answer.
Mm-hmm. What if it happened to you?
I don't know. I feel like whatever I'm gonna say is gonna be completely different than if it were to happen. And there's some things I can't even like get in that hypothetical like visual. I don't know. I think I would be kind of scared, man, to be honest with you. I would be kind of scared.
Yeah.
It would be extremely exciting, but for some reason right now when I'm thinking about it, it's a lot of fear. It's the fear of the unknown. Like dude, it's just a big decision to go out in space. And I hate to say it, but like I'm just leaning towards like the worst case scenario. Like what if I don't go? What if I don't make it back? On one hand, I could say that maybe I could pass away seeing something so incredible that not many humans will have ever in their lifetime have a chance to do. But I kind of like it here on Earth too, man. Yeah. So that's a tough one. I don't know. I would just have to, if I cross that bridge, I would just have to figure it out then.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I would have to go, man.
Yeah.
As much as I'm scared about it, I think it would just be one of those things where like, you know what, like whatever happens, happens. Like I need to see this.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you had some information about, how long the mission would be, where you're going, it kind of maybe would help with the context. If you were gone for 3 days, it's different than being gone for 3 months. Right. So
yeah.
That would probably help. But yeah, I mean, given that only fewer than 1,000 people have ever been in space at all, you'd be given a very unique opportunity compared to the other existing 7 billion humans that currently exist, let alone the other several billion humans that have ever existed. I feel like it'd be
let me know in the chat too. Sorry, real quick. Yeah, just let me know in the chat if you guys had an opportunity to go to space. Let's just say 3 days. We'll call it 3 days. Would you go? Like, think about it. Think about it really hard. If you actually got an invite, would you go?
Do a couple of laps around planet Earth. You're not going far. You're basically running in your own front yard and backyard around your house. It's like the equivalent. So you're not going to the moon. You're not going to another star.
Yeah.
Yes. Nope. Yes.
Now, real quick, think about your family too. Think about your loved ones, your children. You're not getting a +1 on these, or plus whatever. It's just you. So you're gonna be leaving your significant other, your pet, whoever.
Super claustrophobic? So absolutely not.
Miguel would go. Okay.
There we go.
James says most definitely.
No, couldn't do that to my family. Yeah.
Alex says, but did you die?
Yeah, William Shatner got to fly on a Blue Origin flight. Said it changed his perspective of everything. You should go look up his post-flight speech when he came out of the capsule and got interviewed. Beautiful, beautiful oration by William Shatner.
No way, dude.
Yep.
Don't ask this.
Yeah, Kayla said Emily Calandrelli. She's a huge space influencer. I've been following her for years, and she just went up recently on Blue Origin. Yep.
Get her on the podcast.
Oh, dude, she'd be great. She'd be so great. I think she had a Netflix show, a science show for kids.
Astrophilia says, if they can guarantee I'll return, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a tough sell when you're literally strapped to rocket fuel.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
The overview effect is supposed to be life-changing. Right.
Dude, I can't even imagine.
For those of you unfamiliar, the overview effect is the term issued by, I'm trying to remember, the Apollo astronaut Ed White? What is it? Wow, who was it? Overview.
Ed and Eddie.
Ed and Eddie. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Or Frank White. Sorry.
Frank White.
There we go. I knew it was White. Which basically is describing the overwhelming, almost spiritual transformation that happens when you're in space and you're looking back at planet Earth, the home of all of humanity, and you realize that there are no borders and that all problems and conflicts suddenly feel, solvable, and that everything's kind of trivial in history, and that changes you in a way that you would never be able to achieve from planet Earth. Like, and it's happened to most, if not all, people who have gone to space. Even happens to people who go up to suborbital flights with Blue Origin. They kind of see the curve, and they get this brief glimpse of it. But they come back and they want to do things to actually help humanity, to help transform the world and make it a better place. I brought this up before, but it was astronaut Ron Garan kind of had his own iteration of that, and he coined it as the orbital perspective. He wrote a book about it, and it's one of the influences for me and my philosophy on space. Also, my name, the Orbital Alliance, pays homage to the orbital perspective. And it's that we can do better, and that I think the phrase "the key is we." We're better off working together to solve Earth's problems, and they are solvable if we all just kind of have that perspective. And you don't have to go to space to achieve it necessarily, but you have to actually do some work to get there. But it's like if you sent every world leader up into space, like probably a lot of things would change here on planet Earth.
What a beautiful thing. I can't imagine seeing that. Zaliru said here, just seeing the planets through a telescope is life changing, which I 100% agree. Can't imagine seeing Earth from space.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I literally can't imagine it. I can see it in my head, but I'm not feeling that emotion.
Sorry. Can we leave some of them in space? Yeah, that's.
I mean, I'm down.
I mean, there probably are a few that maybe we could just open the airlock for, but we
oh my
go
god! Oh my god, dude! Dang! Tell us how you really feel. Tell us how you really feel.
I keyed. Dude,
this quick
also
tangent. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
No, I was gonna tangent myself. I was gonna say Ariel, but don't forget about Plank from Ed, and Eddie.
Don't forget about Plank.
Johnny and Plank, the wood board with
Plank.
the smiley face on it.
Dude. Honey, thank you so much for the money.
Hey, thanks, Daniel. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for throwing in that super dark. Yeah, I know. That was probably the darkest thing I've ever said on the podcast.
I'm scared. I'm scared
Yep.
here. Dude, my quick, I don't know why I thought of this, but I think it would be really cool if we made our own, we can do a space scene. All right. I think it might be a little ambitious to create our own little space movie, but I think you and I have the brain and the know-how to recreate a scene. Like we can maybe CGI or green screen where we're in a space station or something. And I don't know. I just feel like you and I could really get our acting up, and we could create a 1 minute thing.
Yes, I think we could. Are you talking about right now or later?
Later.
Another time.
Yeah, we'd have to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember my that TikTok I made last year where I impersonated Liam Neeson?
Yes. So fucking good. So good.
Sorry, I think I'm peaking hardcore here on my microphone.
Perfect.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I made a TikTok where I reenacted the scene from Taken with Liam Neeson, where he is on the phone with the people who've kidnapped his daughter. But I changed it to it was really cloudy during the winter, and I was bored, and we couldn't do astronomy, so I was like, if I ever find you, I'll hunt you down. And I spent way too much time on it.
Dude, it was beautiful. It was a well-made video.
My acting chops are tuned up, dude.
do the podcast from the space station.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
dude. You know what? You and I probably could recreate like some kind of like. I'm picturing from this window right here where we're side by side. Maybe we can just make the background look like we're in a spaceship.
Yes.
So like we could be like sitting next to each other, or we can be in separate like modules or something. Ooh, how's it going over there, Nick?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I'll just use my rolling chair to make it look I'm floating by.
Yo. Yeah. Yeah. I support this endeavor. All right. We're doing it. I like it a lot.
The darkest thing you ever said on the podcast is how you like dark meat.
That was all I needed to know about Nick.
Yes. Good point. Real good point. Oh, that's so good.
Too funny.
Oh, man.
Not yet, Tiffy. Not yet.
Goodness gracious. So, yeah, I don't know. I thought it was just fun to talk about what are the ways to go to space. And I think now that we're in the new year, there's a lot of really historic things happening in space flight. And more people are getting interested, and a lot of young people are choosing careers. And you know, it's just a really exciting time to be alive. And if you remember last week when we had Ron on as like a special guest, we talked about trying to get people young. Ron Burgundy. Milk was a bad choice.
Yeah, Ron was cool, man. Ron is cool.
But we were talking about, you know, getting young people interested, and he gave his take on, like, if he had the chance to talk to a young person versus, because he grew up watching the Apollo missions as they happen, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, chase your dreams, everybody. It's worth it.
Everyone, sign up for a raffle. Maybe you'll get a shot into space.
Right. Okay, everybody, if you watched last week's episode, sound off in the chat. Did you guys see the Mad Lib, the space Mad Lib that we did?
Oh, that was fun.
It was so much fun, right?
Also, that was our longest episode yet.
It was, dude. 3 hours.
A whole 3 hours of just making noises with our mouth.
Yep. Blah, blah, blah.
Should we top it tonight? Let's go for 4 hours.
Bunch of quacking ducks.
Yeah. Bunch of nerdy quacking ducks. The Barbie.
Yeah, Space Barbie.
Heck yeah.
So we're gonna do another one tonight. That's what we're gonna do. So hopefully you guys are excited. We did a little bit of a shorter one, a little simpler, but we're gonna do a space story. So we need your help. So everybody who's watching on TikTok or on YT, we need your support in the YT chat. So hop on over. This is your chance to participate in this episode tonight. It's a fun way to include you guys in what we're doing. So listen up, everybody. I'm going to start going through how this Mad Lib works. If you have not done one before, basically we have a pre-written story, and there are blanks all throughout the story that need filling. And it's going to ask us for a noun, an adjective, a verb, a plural noun, a name for something. And I'm going to ask you guys for all of those answers in the chat. And then we're going to read the whole story and see how it sounds. So hopefully it's ridiculous. So you guys be ridiculous, but keep it PG. That's all I ask.
Yes. Also, again, if you are over on the talk, come over here because we need all your help. If you want to participate, if you want to be a part of the story, you got to come over here.
Yep. So Tan, what worked well last time was as I'm filling it in here, can you read off what the chat says?
Yep. Okay. Chat, in order for this to work smoothly, we need your guys' participation, please. So get your fingers ready. We're gonna feed you some prompts, and then you just start typing away. All right.
Yep. All right. Here we go. Type as fast as you can, because the sooner we see them in the chat, the sooner we're gonna put them in. I'm not gonna linger too long on them. All right. So first up, we need some adjectives. These are descriptive words. Words that describe things.
Yep.
All right.
Start throwing them in the chat.
Things like chocolatey or soft or fast. Drop them in the chat.
Descriptive words.
So as soon as you have it, Tan, start reading them off.
Okay. Go, chat, go. Falling? Fluffy?
Mm-hmm.
Quick?
Mm-hmm.
Foul.
Okay. Keep going. All right, so another one. We need more adjectives. So everybody, adjectives.
Gnarly.
Oh, I like
sparkling.
Gnarly's good.
Moist. Eesh, moist.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't know if I said rusty yet.
Rusty. I like that.
Yeah. Bumpy. Monstrous.
Mm-hmm.
Frivolous. Ooh. Dastardly.
Ooh. Yes.
Hairy.
Beautiful. Okay, we need some nouns. Drop some nouns in there.
Okay, nouns. Person, place, or things. Nouns. Look at all these. Give us a noun, chat. We're going to switch over to nouns. Person, place, or thing.
This is like block of cheese or hospital.
Banana.
Banana.
Pug. Ooh, I know Tanzanite will like that one. William Shatner.
Yeah.
Space. Cloud. We should call it the C word.
That could get nasty.
Yeah, right, actually. French building. Wrecking ball. Immediate care center. Mars. Cheese curd.
Oh boy.
Stick.
These are all
Pluto.
great. Keep them coming. Let's see.
Light bulb. Miley Cyrus. Happy New Year's. Tan. Jedi Master. Plank with 2 exclamation points.
Yeah.
Moon. Ad Astra.
Mm-hmm.
Nick. Space Junk. Atlas Comet.
Give me a day of the week.
A day of the week, chat. Switching. Give us a day of the week. Nice one, Richard. Give us a day of the week. I mean, Thursday. Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Give me a number. It can be any number. Huge number, tiny number.
Give us a number, chat.
If you're just tuning in, if you're just tuning in, we need people to participate in the chat. We're filling in a Mad Lib about space, and we're going to read it very soon. So we need your participation with nouns, adjectives, names. I think that's kind of it. There are no verbs in here. I wonder why.
Here are the numbers. 47. 56. 2094. 1. 13. 7. 31.
Okay, I think we're good for numbers.
Okay.
All right. Douse me some adjectives.
All right. Descriptive words, guys. More descriptive words.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to animate this one too? She's gonna be behind on work.
You are required to animate every single one.
Yeah.
It's
1 week deadline.
Yes.
Curly.
Mm-hmm.
Hot.
Okay.
Exhausted. Wimpy.
Ooh, I like that. Wimpy.
Cold.
Yeah. Air on the funny side. Get kooky and zany.
Get kooky and zany, guys.
And actually, I'm going to use zany because that's a good one.
Insane.
Mm-hmm.
Bernie. Funky fresh. Ooh, the double Fs. Flabbergasted. What's up, JC? We need some descriptive words. We need some adjectives.
Flabbergasted.
Ludicrous.
Okay. Pause on the adjectives because I think right now we need I need a couple of nouns and plural nouns, like with an S at the end.
Plural nouns.
And we're almost done. I think these are the last 2.
Yep. Person, place, things. With an S.
Keep them coming, everybody. We love it.
Plural. Dogs.
Dogs.
We can do Bill Clinton's. The Clintons. Barbies. Crayons. Beaches.
Oh, man.
Someone said Uranus's.
Uranus.
Uranus. Cheese graters. That's so random.
I'm doing that.
Waffles.
Ooh, that's good. I like that.
Toes.
All right, let me check. We might be done here. Let me just make sure I didn't miss any.
Uranus.
Everybody pause with your suggestions because I think we are full.
Moons. That's good.
Okay.
Yeah, you and Harmony are like got this little psychic thing going on.
All right, I think we're done, everybody. Thank you for your support. Thanks for giving us a whole bunch of words.
Spams.
Time to read. Spams?
Spams.
Hang on.
Got to squeeze it in there.
I did, yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't got kicked off of TikTok yet. Usually around now, it'll ask me for this puzzle, but whatever.
Oh, right. Okay, you guys ready for us to read it? You ready to do this?
Let's do it.
Let us know in the chat if you're ready. We're going to read our very special Space Mad Lib starting now. Brace yourselves, okay? Once upon a time, in a foul galaxy far, far away, there lived a gnarly banana named Zork. Zork was known throughout the galaxy for having the most moist William Shatner anyone has ever seen. One Thursday, Zork decided it was time to explore 2,094 new planets. Armed with a rusty cheese grater and dastardly map of the stars, Zork set off on a flabbergasted spaceship named the U.S. Miley Cyrus. The first planet Zork visited was covered in waffles, which made for a very wimpy landing. Here, Zork met a hairy pug who offered to guide him to the zany treasure of the cosmos. After a journey filled with cheese curds and spams, Zork returned home richer and wiser, but most importantly, with a tale to tell that would be remembered through the ages. Yeah.
W Zork.
W Zork. W spams. W moist William Shatners.
Oh my god. That part was like the most. Yeah, that I would. Moist William Shatners.
Yep.
All right, Ashley, get ready. We need this animation done like yesterday.
Another one. Yeah.
Oh, that was so good. I'm kind of hungry now. What in the world?
Oh, we should do a Mad Lib later in the future where Zork and Space Barbie meet.
Ooh, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know William Shatner's could be moist.
They do after they fly to space.
Yep.
I bet that space suit was quite sweaty.
Woo, that was good. I like that.
Thanks for participating, everybody. It's been a kooky experiment, but we've been having fun with it. So
I like it. Bring them together. We just might. USS Miley Cyrus. I know that was so good.
Yeah. Yep. That was a good take. You were 100% serious. Okay. Well, we're holding you to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe. We believe you. We believe you.
Oh my goodness.
That was good.
Sweet. Well, let's talk about real space things a little bit more. I mean, Zork is probably real. Let's be honest. You guys want to talk about the International Space Station because it's cool? Or am I the only weirdo who's obsessed with a tin can flying around Earth for 25 years?
This is your favorite. This is your time to shine.
I know. I'm ready to go. You ready to talk about it, Tan?
I am. Guys, we're going to talk about the International Space Station, the ISS for short. And Nick is the ISS guy. So I'm actually going to kind of take a seat back here and just, I'm also going to kind of be in the audience too, maybe. I'll share a little bit, but I'm actually excited just because there's so much that I don't know about it. So, yeah, take the wheel, my friend.
Yeah, sweet. Well, ask questions, Tan, too. Like, because it's likely that if you have questions, everybody in the chat probably has the same question. And you guys in the chat ask your questions too, because for the same exact reason. Like, it's like in school, like there's no such thing as a stupid question, just stupid people. And that is a real logic that my English teacher in high school gave. Real advice.
This is true.
And I made a TikTok about that too at some point last year. So go find that one. I think if you have a question, that means you're curious, and that means you're intelligent. So I guess his logic is that if you're intelligent enough to spawn a question in your head that makes you want to learn, then, and you don't ask that question, then I guess it does make you stupid. Not in a degrading way, like a, hey, you're stupid, but like a, you are perhaps, I don't know. Is that logic correct?
It makes sense. Like there's an opportunity for you to learn something and you acknowledge it, but then refuse to do it. So yes.
Yeah.
You're stupid.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Don't come at me.
You're right.
Ask questions is what we're trying to allude to.
Yeah, we're trying to encourage you to feel like you have a safe place to ask questions.
Yeah, always.
Anyway, so the International Space Station is an orbital outpost that started being built in 1998, but it was like part of a plan that happened much, much earlier. President Reagan actually pitched it as Space Station Freedom, which is supposed to be an American space station to compete with the Russian space station Mir. And this was something that actually got defunded over time, and it was almost canceled. The space shuttle program was in full flight, and it was actually kind of supposed to be existing to support a space station program because it was the only vehicle that could help bring parts up into orbit. But it got kind of concocted, and partners from the international agencies said, hey, we actually want to be doing more in space. Like, can we actually help you do this? So, Russia, America, ESA, Japan, Canada, and so many more countries pooled up, signed an agreement. So let's it's not going to be an American space station. It's not going to be a Russian space station. It'll have many components from many countries. We'll build it together, and we're going to make this international space station. Very clear nomenclature. It doesn't belong to anybody. And so 1998, the first module went up. It was a Russian module. And I'm actually going to share some pictures here in just a second. So I found some just for reference. So hang tight, folks. Let's open all of these in a preview window.
I'm excited to see this.
Oops. That didn't go how I want it to go. All right. Let's have a look at our good old space station friend. All right. Who can see this? Is that showing up? There it is. There's my buddy, the ISS.
That thing looks crazy. Looks like a TIE fighter.
It does. Who here in the chat has ever seen the International Space Station? Because this is something that's visible to the naked eye. It's very, very bright. You can see it pass over many times a month. Over 90% of planet Earth can see it at different times. Only the polar regions are at disadvantage and are not able to see the space station. So if you've never seen this before, it's this giant megastructure. It's the most expensive object ever built. They've spent well over $100 billion and growing to not only build it, but to fund and support it since 1998. Wow. So the most expensive megastructure ever built in space. It's also the largest structure ever built in space at about the size of one American football field.
Dude, that's how big it is?
From solar panel corner to solar panel corner, yes.
Holy crap. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. A common misconception is that, humans can go all over this thing. Actually, humans on the inside of the space station are only kind of in the middle chunk. There's a couple different segments that the space station is comprised of. So let's try to do a little bit of a thing. Tan, I need you to confirm for me because I have to leave my window here. If I pinch and zoom, does that show up?
Yes.
Nice. So we've got 8 solar arrays here, right? There's 4 on each side, and those, of course, power the space station. So let's do like a little bit of a navigation thing here. You also see on the right side, there's these kind of weird angular, smaller solar panels. Since then, 6 of these have been put on. They're called the IROSA solar panels, and they're newer, more highly efficient solar arrays. And this is an older picture from just a few years ago, maybe like 2021 or 2022. But there's more of them now on the space station, and they're helping provide more energy to all the equipment that goes on up there. But this middle section that goes from left to right is called the truss. It's big support system and storage system. So right across the middle, that goes from solar panel to solar panel is the truss. So people cannot go inside that part. It's literally structural at best, and that's where power gets run, batteries get stored, radiators emit heat from the space station. So that's kind of what that is. And in the middle, you have the modules. So you can kind of see these sort of rounded bits. And we're looking straight on. This is the forward part of the space station. So we're looking at an edge on. And I'll show you an underneath picture here in a second. But the modules are where people go. So these get all connected by little portholes. And those have been assembled piece by piece and are technically movable. It's all modular. Some of them have been swapped around over time. But this is, in general, the space station. And all on the outside of it, there's equipment. There's experiments. Like right here in the dead center of the screen is a pallet where they put experimentation objects outside in the vacuum of space. They have a small airlock. There's a couple robotic arms, like the Canadarm. You can see right here in the middle of the screen, which helps move spacecraft and modules and vehicles. And then up here on the upper left, there's like a big box, like right in the middle of the screen now, right on the top. That's the AMS, or the Alpha Magnetic Spectrometer, which is basically studying deep space waves out on top of the space station in a way that we can't do on Earth. So it's gathering data about our deep universe from space without the interference of our atmosphere.
So cool.
Very, very expensive piece of equipment just chilling out on the top. And a fun fact, they did include the AMS in the Lego model as well, which was super cool touch.
Oh, no way. I can appreciate that. That's cool.
I can show that later if we want. So let's zoom in here. Let's look at a different angle. Let's pitch it up. Now we're underneath the space station. Is that showing up a little bit better here?
Mm-hmm.
So we're underneath. So we were looking up at the top. If you guys can see my cursor, we were looking here before from the other side. Now you can see this sort of L shape. Maybe look more like a T. This is where all the people go in the middle. And then you see these big like white panels that kind of look zigzaggy on either side. Those are the radiators. So those are where heat from the space station get expelled out into space because the sun is very hot. It heats up the space station. It has energy flowing through it. And you need ways to get rid of that heat. Otherwise, it will kill people on the space station. It's not good. So these radiators exist to be out there. And you actually see there's one that looks a little bit funky right here. See that one? That's actually it's damaged from space debris.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. So there's actually, and you can see that. I think I've taken a picture where you can actually see that.
No way.
If you image it correctly.
Dude, that's crazy.
I'll just see if I can find that picture. But so let's look at the modules here. So the Americans have a segment, the Japanese have a segment, the Europeans have a segment, and the Russians have a segment. So I wish I had a better way to highlight my cursor, but right up here at the upper right side is the Japanese modules. And then right down the middle is the American segment. And the small one in the upper left is the European Columbus module. So there's like the Kibo and the Japanese experimentation module, or the GEM. Science happens in there. The Americans have habitation segment and a laboratory. So there's node 2 is in the middle. And any section of the space station that's called a node is where there's multiple joining points on it where modules can be connected. So node 2 is up here at the top in the middle. Also at the end of node 2 is a docking port. They call them a PMA, or the pressurized mating adapter, which is where vehicles can dock, like the SpaceX Dragon or the Boeing Starliner, and formerly the Space Shuttle. Moving on down, see these kind of like golden circles? Those are the solar arrays of a Cygnus cargo craft right there. So it's docked to the underside of the space station. And below that is node 1, which was the first American segment to go up. To the right of it is node 3. And then above it, you got, the node 3, that's where the treadmill and the bathroom are, which is kind of a fun fact. Above it, you have the PMM, which was like a storage unit for like equipment and supplies. And over by the left golden circle there, underneath that is actually the American airlock. So that's where Americans do the spacewalks from. They get in their spacesuits and they come out. You can actually see the hatch right on this side, this little white circle. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. That right there is where they come out of.
That's so cool.
Node 3 is also probably the most interesting place in the space station because you can see this little blue circle here, right? That's the cupola. That's the 7-windowed dome on the bottom of the space station where people take pictures and do observations, and robotic control of the Canadarm as well. So that's a really, really cool place to be. And I'll show pictures of that in a second. Actually, you know what? Here's a close-up picture. Here's the cupola. It was built by the Italians. and there's all these little doors that can close and cover the windows so they get shielded. So if you guys can see, this is a close-up, high-resolution look at the cupola.
That's so cool.
Let's zoom in here a little bit. Here's a higher res image, actually, so I can zoom a little better. See this little round, bubbly-looking one attached to Node 3? This is actually an inflatable module. It's called Beam, which was the Bigelow Aerospace experiment to test inflatable modules to see if they'd be cheaper and more durable than metal modules. So it's basically a storage module at this point. It's been up there for a couple of years, and it worked. They actually inflated it with air, pressurized it, and now it's like an extra room on the space station, but it's still there. Bigelow Aerospace is no longer around. They actually shut down business, but their module is still on the space station, which is kind of cool. Node 2 in the dead center, right in here behind this silver bit, this big white part. That's actually where, or Node 1, sorry. Node 1, this is where the kitchen is. So astronauts eat and store all their food, which is pretty cool. Moving down here is the Russian segment, and that runs out of a picture here. Here's the Russian chunk. So we kind of turned 90 degrees here. There's a couple of docking modules, and then there's the service module here in the middle. I believe that's Zarya, I think, and then one is Zvezda. I don't know the Russian for the other ones, but the Russian kitchen, the Russian bathrooms, the Russian living spaces are in the back, in the aft portion of the space station, which is pretty cool. So there's just another perspective of that. Let's see. What do we have? I got a couple other views here. So is everybody? I haven't even seen the chat. Did I lose everybody?
Dude, this is awesome. You really know your stuff, man. So thank you for sharing this. I've always heard you geek out about the ISS, and I feel like now is the first time I've really seen you shine. And holy crap, I feel like you might have been one of the people responsible for engineering this thing.
No, I just pay attention to the actual people who do design it and who are way smarter than I am.
Yeah, I love you hearing you talk about it, man. It's very fascinating.
Cool. Well, if I lose anybody, just let me know. You might have to help me read the chat. Here's a different angle from the front where you can see the habitable part of the space station. It's like from the front angle looking backwards. You can see the Russian segment in the back here. The radiator panels turn. They all rotate, and the solar panels turn to always face the sun. So that's something to keep in mind, that those giant arrays like tip forward and down, and they spin left and right. So they're always getting the most energy possible. There is also on the front part of the space station another docking port on the American Node 2. Ironically, it's actually called the Harmony module. So shout out to Harmony in the chat. But this is another adapter for vehicles to dock to, which is
thanks,
cool.
Harmony. Real quick, Richard John says they filter pee and turn it into drinking water. Is this a thing?
Yep. Oh, that's so true.
They filter pee and turn it into drinking water.
That's true. So there's a giant centrifuge on the space station that was engineered for this purpose. It was to recycle any and all moisture on the space station. So all fluids that get used, including urine, are recycled into this machine, and it's purified in such a way that it's actually more pure than tap water here on Earth.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
Yeah. True story. Very, very real.
Wow, very fascinating. And then what about the feces? Turn that into Snickers?
Yeah.
It's the best Snickers you've ever had.
Oh my gosh, dude! What?
Filtering pee and turning it into drinking water is insane. I had no idea, bro. That is fascinating.
Yeah, wow. It's true. They still do. They send bags of water up, but that's expensive and heavy. And every gram that gets sent into space is something that's really, really expensive. And until the cost of launching comes down, which it is, they need to find ways to keep that cost more realistic. Oh no! Yeah. What'd you find?
Just the chat's funny. Blue Eyes says, "I don't care. I'm still not drinking it." Yeah. That's fair.
Yep.
Just don't think about it. I'll go dehydrated first. Come on, you guys gotta drink.
All this talk about drinking pee is making me thirsty.
Yeah, dude, that is so wild.
Is Bear Grylls on the space station? Yeah, the feces, that's actually a really good question. That's a legit question. They do not recycle that. Those go into little canisters, and they actually put those into used up cargo craft, and they burn those up in the atmosphere. So they just discharge that at safe times, and they don't have to keep it up there.
I'm glad that was the explanation, because I think I would have lost it if you.
Yeah, it's like turn it back into coffee beans or something.
Turn it to spam. That's how it's made.
Oh, what? Now we know. Cat's out of the bag.
Wow, incredible.
So fun fact about the toilets, they actually have, it's a little toilet. There's a toilet seat, and it's like a little outhouse. And there's a toilet seat with a canister under it. And there's actually some fans in there to pull the air down, because obviously with microgravity, things float. I'm gonna bring us back up here real quick. It's a quick detour. Things float, if you know what I mean, when you expel physical waste from your body. So you need some suction in the tube to like pull it down. So it does, and hopefully you have to like aim it right. So you need to be really good at releasing your excrement. And then for urine, there's actually like a hose with a yellow funnel on the end, so you can't mistake it for which one goes where. And you have to release your liquid waste into this tube, which also has suction. And that works for both males and females.
Super interesting.
Yes. So there are handlebars like in the the porta potty, so you can hold yourself in place, because you need the right support to like push things in the right direction. And that's very real in how it works. And the toilet apparently breaks quite often. So all astronauts need to be trained and qualified to repair the toilets on the space station, because they're easily breakable, which is something that they need to fix on the next round of spaceships. So
interesting.
Yep. So that's kind of how it all works. And then they just swap the canisters out, and they have all different types of special ways to clean up, because it can be messy. So there's on the wall, they've got all these different materials that you can use to like maintain your cleanliness. And if something gets out of hand, pun intended, then you can capture it and direct it into the right place.
That is so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of just using the toilet in space, and I think it would take me a while to get used to, for sure.
Yeah, I think it'd be pretty weird. It's not nearly as comfortable, and there are no bidets, so.
Super interesting. Yeah.
Speaking of that, there's also no running water on the space station. So there are no showers. There are no dishwashers. There are no laundry machines. And there are no sinks. So you can't just, hey, I'm going to just wash my hands over here, and hey, I got messy, I'm going to go do that. You actually have to like use a wet towel, a damp towel, or like a cleaning wipe or something like that to clean yourself. That includes your showers. So you actually are just doing wipe down showers for like 6 months.
That's pretty gnarly.
Yes. And you have to work out 2 hours a day to mitigate the effects of microgravity on your body. So your bone density and your muscle mass that you have to regain to support your body and maintain your overall health. 2 hours of working out every day. Imagine like doing heavy weightlifting and running on a treadmill, and you know how nasty and sweaty you get, and you can't even take a real shower. You just have to use like wet towel and like cleaning wipes, just like wipe your body down. And that's as good as it gets for months on end.
Yeah, what do you guys think? Would you still go to space knowing all this now?
Yeah.
Dude, so this might be a silly question. Let's say I chose not to work out for those 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I land back on Earth, am I just like jello? Would I just not be able to move around?
There were actually massively detrimental effects to the human skeleton that were somewhat irreversible. And they noticed this after long duration missions early on. Space missions were a couple days, maybe a few weeks, but when they started becoming a couple months, they noticed that bone density was so degraded, particularly in the hips, that your own structure was almost irredeemable after a certain point spent in space. You actually needed to, they found that they could mitigate a lot of that by just simply working out to a certain extent. I can't remember the percentages, but it was like really dire. a lot of astronauts ended up with like really brittle bones and weak bones because you're not putting pressure on them. So your body is like, well, I don't need this structure to hold myself up. If the body's floating all the time, I'm going to start eating away at the things that I don't need, like muscle and bone, and I'm going to redistribute those elements in my body to somewhere else, or I'm going to get rid of it through waste. So it's no longer needed. So there's, but when you come back, obviously you need all those things because you're not there forever. So like, if you did spend, 2, 3, 6 months up there and you didn't lift, you would probably be in a lot of trouble.
Sounds painful, man.
You need a lot of extra support to recover. Yeah, a lot of astronauts actually come back stronger than when they left because they're just like workout kings while they're up there. And that's actually a true story with very, very minimal bone density loss or muscle mass loss because they've come up with such good regimens that they're able to keep up with it now, which is cool.
Wow.
So the more you know.
That's cool.
I'm going to bring back up our pictures here. Oops, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Here's astronaut Sunita Williams, or Sunny Williams. She's one of the Boeing test pilots. Well, she's a NASA astronaut, but she was the test pilot for the Boeing Starliner. She's up there now, and there she is in what I believe to be, that looks like the American laboratory to me, if I were to guess. Let me like zoom in here on the
There's so much going on in this photo.
And that's the thing is most of the walls are covered in cables and laptops and equipment and whatever, cameras and stuff. She's holding a camera. There's all kinds of.
It looks like the first computer I built where cable management wasn't a thing. And it was just, that's so wild, dude.
Here. So if you look at the doorways into the next module, you can see they always have like a routing. So here it says 2GEM. That's the Japanese experimentation module. So we're looking at the forward part of the space station behind her. So this is actually in, is this the Harmony module or right next to it? Oh, so yeah, here this says 2 Columbus. So that's going to be the end of the American laboratory where she is.
Jeez. So, I did not even notice that. I was trying to figure out what kind of camera she was using. Because it looks like a Nikon, maybe?
I think predominantly they have Nikon DSLRs on the International Space Station. Mm-hmm.
And it looks like she has some kind of filter. Maybe it's that neutral density filter.
Maybe, yeah.
There was an episode. Yeah, I can't remember. We were talking about how in the what was that room called where you take photos on the space station? What do you call it?
Wait, say it again. Sorry.
There's a room. There's that cupola where they have a neutral density filter on the windows to basically make it so you can actually see the Earth on the outside on video.
I remember when I was hanging out with you, we watched that video.
Super interesting.
That's a Smarter Everyday video with Destin interviewed Don Pettit and Matthew Dominic.
So cool.
Back in the fall. Look at that video up. Tan's making an excellent point because the cupola with the windows, I'll pull that picture back up here so you guys can see it. Here. These windows, if you want to take a picture of the Earth is ridiculously bright. It's like bright sunny day. And then on the inside, you got interior lighting. Those two things do not balance for photography. So if you want to expose for, say, a person's face inside the cupola, you're going to overexpose. It's going to be bleach white in the windows. You can't see the Earth and the person's face at the same time. So you actually need to put a filter on the windows, what they just recently did for the first time. And now you can expose for both at the same time and get these beautiful pictures of the subject in the cupola and the environment behind you, which is super cool.
It's like sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
Exposure is something that is just, I feel like it's just commonly overlooked. I think one of the biggest questions are people, whenever they see photos of things in space, are like, well, how come we don't see any stars?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a simple exposure. So on your camera here, she seems to have some kind of filter, and I'm assuming it's for that same reason, is to basically add a little more like a stop of like darkness, right? A little shade, like a little filter, so it's not so bright.
Right. Could also be for an interior experiment. They could have been asked to take photographies of something that's happening inside the laboratory.
True.
So who knows? Also, they have a flash attached to it too. So
yeah, very interesting.
Who knows? Also, a fun thing. Do you notice, guys? Here, look at her pants. What do you guys notice? What's on her pants?
It's a Velcro.
It's Velcro.
Hell yeah, that's sick, dude.
Everything on the space station has Velcro on the walls, on packets of food, their pants so they can take things with them so they don't float away. So if you have a pen, there's Velcro on the pen. If you have scissors, there's Velcro on the scissors. If you have a packet of freaking chocolate from lunch today, Velcro on that so it doesn't float away. The clipboards, the iPads, all that stuff, they have Velcro on it. And it's everywhere. So you can stick stuff to walls. You can stick stuff to yourself. Pretty cool. I kind of want space trousers. I'm not going to lie.
Dude, that's so sick. They look cool.
Yeah. Here's another interior image. This is in the Japanese module. And you can see here this behind the guy in the red shirt. See that circular door? That's actually a small airlock. So they can put experiments out there, close the airlock, and then put them on that little, what did I call it? The pallet. Here, I'm going to pull this up here. See this this little square bit up top? That's on the outside. So they can put experiments out there using that little airlock out of the Japanese module, which is pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of a neat image, but you can kind of see just how busy it is. They have a camcorder here that's clearly recording what they're doing because they're always documenting stuff. It's literally science. So these astronauts are performing science experiments all the time. And every 6 months, they're completing 100 or to 200, sometimes more experiments at a time for universities, for NASA, different organizations that pay to have their experiments brought up to the space station to be in a unique environment so they can look at things in a way that you can't look at it on Earth. So that's what the astronauts are doing up there. Contrary to popular belief, they are not just doing flips, and having they do that and they have fun, but they're up there doing
I thought that's all they do.
I know, right?
The number one thing you do in space is just do flips.
Mm-hmm. And take pictures.
Yeah.
Here's that airlock open, and they're clearly doing some kind of maintenance here. But look at the iPad; it's velcroed to the guy's leg. Like that's what I'm talking about. And there's another tool over here, velcroed to this guy's pants on this side. You guys see that? That's the Velcro in action. There are also two windows up here in the gem as well. There's one here. They have flaps on it so they can protect from the sunlight. That's kind of cool.
I agree, Bloyd.
So that's kind of neat.
What are you guys talking about with the babies and the? So many questions.
But yes, do a backflip. So yeah, I mean, I wish I could do a better video tour. I would love to show one of the video tours that's on YouTube, but you can go and look up those yourself. They can fly you through all the modules, show you. Each one has a different purpose. There's, different things to be done up there, but it's a beautiful space station and a beautiful representation of not only a wickedly amazing human feat, but a cooperative international feat and achievement of countries working together, particularly countries that were once enemies not even 100 years ago. I mean, you're talking Russia, Japan, US, Germany, the list goes on. We were all like literally offing each other, if you know what I mean, to spare the language. Like we were doing horrible things to each other, but now we are working together, helping each other, becoming better friends, creating better bonds governmentally and socially, and being better examples for future generations to show like what's possible. It's not worth going to war over. Let's actually go explore the frontier of space together. And that's why I love the space station so much, is that I can go outside and see this thing fly over my house. And I've seen it over 150 times. Like it literally is the coolest thing you can see, and it's totally free. And it's a pure representation of the absolute best of humanity. So if you haven't had the chance to see it, highly encourage you to go out and find a free app. Go to NASA, go to spotthestation.nasa.gov. You can look it up for free. Type in your location, and it'll tell you when upcoming sightings are. Occasionally there's gaps where there are no sightings. Just be patient, wait maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and it'll come back. It's just based on the way the orbits are. But if you want to know more, please let me know, because I could geek out for 20 more hours about it. And it's just way too cool. And if you want to know more, there are plenty of resources online about the space station. So their rant is over.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful, man. There's so many things. Maybe tell people what they can expect whenever they are looking for the ISS. Because some people, I would argue that a lot of people would see this thing and call it a UFO. So let's just clear it up. Let's say someone goes out and uses one of these apps like ISS Tracker or uh, Heavens Above. There are so many apps, and they are outside and waiting in the direction that the ISS is coming. What will it look like? What can they expect?
I'm actually going to reference a TikTok. I'm going to pull that up here, and I'm going to show you guys. It's a 1-minute video. Let's see.
Zalira says it can be very bright. Every time I've seen it, it's been extremely bright. It is brighter, noticeable.
It's most of the time it's brighter than the brightest star that we can see in the sky, which is brighter than Sirius. It's oops, that's like really loud. Let me turn up the volume. All right, let's see if we can screen share this. We could get more deep into the magnitudes, like the astronomical magnitudes.
Real quick, can everyone give a round of applause for Nick? Because literally that was just one of the most interesting, fascinating things. And dude, you are such a wealth of knowledge on the side. So thank you for sharing your time and your insight on the International Space Station, man. Seriously.
You're very welcome. It's more than my pleasure. Seriously, like it's the coolest thing. I would say coolest thing on the planet, but it's not on the planet.
W Nick.
Yeah. It very few things excite me more than that, and I hope that I'm not the last. And there's going to be a time where it does not exist, and that clock is ticking. I think within the next 6 to 10 years, the International Space Station will not exist. It's been up since 1998. It's been assembled up until 2011, piece by piece, and humans have been on it since 2000. So this is the 25th year that humans have been consecutively on the space station. It's offered us a great chance to learn about ourselves, learn about space exploration, and what it takes to make the human experience a better experience. So I hope that all of you get the chance to tap into that while it still exists. It will go away, and it's likely that we won't have something quite on that level anytime soon, because there are plans for their space stations, but not like this one. And they're all going to have different purposes. So tap into it while it's around. That's all I can say.
Well said, man. Beautiful.
Holy smoke-a-roly.
Holy crap.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so freaking much.
Hold on, my heart's pounding. Boop, 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 boop. Like that. Thank you so much.
W's in the chat for Tiffy. Why am I seeing all these baby comments? I'm so behind on these. There's like a whole side discussion on babies being born in space and whether it would have legs or not. I don't know. I skipped all the baby conversations.
I mean, that's actually a really good topic of conversation is, can we reproduce in space? But it's one we do not have a lot of data on.
There's only one way to find out.
Hey-o. But that's for the Galactic Window After Hours edition.
Yes. Oh my God.
Oh, on Only Space.
Onlyspace.com, guys. Yeah. What do you think about this?
Are
you concerned about reported leaks?
There have been a lot of occurrences of leaks on seals in the space station because it's getting older. Materials are degrading. There's been a lot of stressors on the space station over the years. Vehicles have come and gone, things like that. And just materials are just not reliable. There are a ton of them, and they can do some things to fix them, but some of them become so serious that they can no longer repair it. It depends on what it is. If it's a micrometeorite debris, meaning like something struck the space station and there's a hole, so big that it starts leaking air, obviously that's an issue. There's been a few of those. There's also been some like poor construction of spacecraft, like Russian Soyuz, that have like caused problems, like air loss. They can patch some things. I trust most of the space agencies involved with the program to handle that. They have protocols for all that. So am I concerned? To a degree, yes, because something devastating can always happen, but the odds are really slim. Debris strikes the space station all the time. They actually say you can hear like little pings and pops just from like little rocks and stuff hitting outside.
Dude, that's wild.
But they have shielding. So it's like literally meant to like deflect that. But if the wrong thing only takes once to cause a real problem. So leaks of air, they can detect those, and they have sensors all over the space station to monitor air pressure, and they can tell where they're coming from. And there's people in mission controls all over the world actually detect, hey, this part of the space station is leaking more air than the other parts. If something became problematic, they can seal off between each module. There are doors, so they can seal off parts. And if it's really that bad, and they're like, hey, we got to just scrap this segment, they'll just close the door and seal the pressure in on the good part of the space station and keep everybody over there. Obviously there comes all sorts of different contingencies. So is it the end of the world if there's one leak somewhere? No. If the leak's bad enough, it can be, life-threatening. But I think they have a lot of really good contingencies and solutions. And eventually they will write off the space station as being too problematic to send people to. And I don't think it's anytime soon, but that's my take.
Very nice. Well said.
Only Windows.
Did I get kicked off of TikTok just now? I think I did.
Oh.
That's all right. I'm surprised we lasted this long.
Right. I was going to share, you asked
The
that
video.
question. What can people expect to see? I made a video on TikTok. You guys can find it. I think it's the #1 pinned video on my channel. It's called the International Space Station, I Heart ISS. I have a compilation of videos of me seeing the space station and photos that I've taken of it. So you can see it as a white dot in the sky, and I'm going to share it with you guys here. Hang on.
Sweet.
Let's do a Chrome tab. Tickety tock. All right. Can you all see that?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. See that little white dot up in the top there? That's the space station. Me with my telescope. That's an image I've taken. You can see the same pictures I was showing you, but it's way crummier than NASA's. See that little white dot in the middle? It looks like an extremely bright star or an airplane. This is a sped up time lapse. You can see it whipping across the sky there. There's another still image that I took. You can see those radiator panels.
What a cool video, dude.
Thank you. There's another different still image. There it is, transiting the moon. Each of those still frames going by the moon. Here's a real-time video image, that white dot in the middle, cruising by some power lines from my backyard. There's Comet Neowise.
With the ISS?
Yeah, buddy.
What?
Here's a real-time transit of the sun. There it goes. And some still images in a composite of it passing the sun. You can see all the solar panels. Here's another real-time shot. This is the white dot there in the middle. And it looks like an airplane with... there's some... Starlink as well. Let me stop that. So it looks like an airplane with no blinking. It's a very solid point of light. It will appear very dim at first and then get really bright and then get dimmer over the course of it traversing the sky, because the angle is always facing the sun. So it's typically at dusk or dawn that you can see it. If it's behind the earth in the middle of the night, you can't see it. So it needs to be illuminated by the sun for you to see it here on Earth. So if it's facing one way, it's going to like if my hand is edge on with you guys, you're not going to see much. It's going to be pretty dim. But if you see the whole space station, all the solar panels blocking, like I have a light up here to my side here, hitting my whole hand. You can see my hand really, really well, right? Because it's the space station is going to get really bright. And then as it moves away, it's going to start angling differently, and it's going to start getting dimmer until it goes into the Earth's shadow. And it's going to go behind the Earth, and then you can't see it at all. So look for a thing that will appear brighter than anything else in the sky, any other stars, and most of the planets. Venus is probably comparable to it, but it's just an unblinking, solid point of light. And it will move pretty slowly at first, and then it'll get faster as it goes above you because your perspective. I like to compare it to if you stood on an interstate, like an expressway, and you were edge up to the lanes. Maybe it's like a 4-lane road, and you look down the highway, and there's a car coming. Say it's like a supercar, like a Bugatti or something. And you could see the car. Like, it's not going to appear like it's moving fast, right? Like, it's going to look really slow. But as it gets closer, it's going to move a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And this is not a trick question. How would the Bugatti look if it was going full tilt as it passed you? Would it be fast or slow? It's going to whip past you, right? But then what happens? This is also not a trick question. This is like, I'm going to lob it to you. As it goes further down the other direction, is it going to appear fast or slow?
Slow.
Exactly. Like, it's going to have that same effect to the space station because it's going 17,000 miles per hour.
17,000 miles is
Yes.
nuts, dude.
It's faster than a bullet. It is going so fast. So the maximum viewing you can have of it is about 6 minutes from horizon to horizon. But not all passes are the same. So some of them are only a couple minutes, like 1 minute or 2 minutes, because they're lower on the horizon. Others are right above you, and they're really long from one end of the sky to the other. And if you're paying attention, you know when it shows up. You see it showing up, just follow it all the way above you, and it's going to whip right over you and then slow down and kind of fade away into the distance. And you can, 90 minutes later, you might have a chance to see it again because it's an hour and a half around the planet Earth.
Here's your sign, chat.
Mm-hmm.
Try and spot the ISS. It truly is really interesting to see. It's easy, and who knows? Who knows when the next pass is going to be? It might be right over your house.
Right? Oh my gosh. I'm too excited, dude. My blood's flowing, getting tingly up in here.
You know what, Nick? You need to do a transit this year soon, hopefully.
I've been looking at the forecasts in my area, and there are not many in January. They are particularly good in the summer because of the angle of the sun. The sun is really low in the winter. It doesn't go very high in the sky. So if the sun is lower in the sky or the moon is lower in the sky, then the space station has to be further away because of the angles to transit it. If the sun is higher up, the space station will actually be closer to you to get to that point in the orbit. So like it's a difference of being maybe 300 miles away or being 1,200 miles away. So
true, yeah.
Would you rather take a picture of something super tiny 300 miles away or 1,200 miles away or 2,000 miles away? Like, yeah, I'm going to take the 300 mile advantage all day. And those are typically going to be around like May to August, somewhere in there. Kind of like Milky Way season. The moon you can kind of do, it's a little bit different because the moon angles are different all year round. But the sun in particular, it's hard to do at the moment. You can do them. They happen, but it's gonna appear much tinier in the image.
That's good to know. I didn't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep. Not always, mind you, but it's helpful.
I'm gonna read Richard Jones' comment here. Chance encounters are rare, but if you go to a website, it will show you flight paths and will be visible for you. I would say if you're trying to see it, for me, it's 100%. You track it. Because if you're just going to walk out on any given night and look up and say, man, I hope the ISS is going to pass near me. Yeah, I mean, it might not even happen. So there are tons of tools out there, and you can track them down to the exact millisecond.
It's funny you brought chance sightings up because I've actually had several of them.
Ooh.
But I actually, again, because I know what I'm looking for. So if I'm out just out and about, I'll look up just because I want to see space stuff, and a lot of times I will just notice it.
Nice.
Because I keep a log of all my space station sightings. Let me see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 chance sightings since 2012.
Dude, that's a crap ton.
Of just randomly seeing the space station and not having planned for it, where I've just been outside. I look up like, I think that's the space station, and I'll look it up on my phone, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's flying over New York right now, and I can see it, or whatever, and it's cool. So I always mark a little check mark next to it if it's a chance sighting, because those are always super exciting. Because I'm about walking my dog or something, and I'm like, oh, there it is. There's like freaking people in space up there,
Oh, cool.
Casually flying over.
Well, there you go, chat. Maybe there's a chance. Maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe you get lucky. You just gotta be looking up. Gotta be looking up first.
19 times in the last 13 years, I had chance sightings. So you do the math. It's basically like one a year.
It's doable.
Some change.
Incredible.
But you're better. You have much higher chances of success if you plan for it.
Plan it.
We'll say that.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna photograph it too. That's 100%. You gotta plan it.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Dude, I could spend like 4 more episodes just talking about the photography part of it.
Maybe we'll do that in next. Yeah, that's it. I've got 2. Man, I can't think. I've done 2 transits 2 ISS transits. It was the sun and the moon, and I think we might have briefly talked about it on an episode, but I know you've had your fair share of adventures as well with transits.
Yeah. Dude, heck yes.
I agree.
Yes, I think that's the expelled from the space station specifically there. Yes, that's a true statement in the chat there. Oh man. Oh dude.
My sister and I would always watch ISS together. She kept schedule. W sister. W sister.
W sister.
That's awesome. I'm gonna pin this real quick too. There's an app called ISS Live. You can track it and know when it's flying over.
Yeah, there's a couple different apps.
Yeah, which one do you use?
I use ISS Detector and Heavens Above.
Love Heavens Above.
I use Detector to give me the times, and I use Heavens Above to give me the live sky chart, so I can actually get a. Oh, dude, I kid you not. It's literally flying over right now, the space station.
What?
But it's not visible. It's technically flying. It's to the north, heading east. So if I were to point, the space station is this direction right now, flying over, probably over Canada right now. I got to look up on ISS Detector really quick where it is. I'm going to guess it's probably over like Ontario. Yes, it is.
Nice.
Show me that map. Here we go.
I just need clear skies, man. I think we might have some soon.
Can you guys see this? Is this going to focus?
Yep.
There's the United States. So it's at the southern part of Hudson Bay right now. And that is in that opaque circle is from my visibility. So from Chicagoland, you can see as soon as it leaves that circle, it's no longer visible.
That's cool. I might have to download this one. I've never used that.
It's fantastic.
I like Heavens Above a lot. ISS Detector.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see on Heavens Above. I hope it focuses here.
And the red mode too?
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
You see the ISS little thing that's a live tracking. It's going to scoot off the frame here in a little bit so you can actually see it moving.
Oh, it even shows how many degrees from the horizon.
Yes.
That's incredibly important. Yeah. Very cool.
Yep.
Is Nick an ISS beacon?
A beacon? No, but I wish there was ISS bacon.
ISS
bacon? I think I just shorted Tan out.
Error.
I need to give you like a new freaking fuse.
I need to firmware.
Yeah. I need to install patch ahaha.exe in the back of you. Nick, are you training to apply for the ISS? Am I still doing that? So I actually went through a series of time there where I was going heavy on trying to just prepare myself for the opportunity to go to space. And I would say I have fallen off that a little bit. I did a year of running and some like diet changes for a while, and I admittedly have not done my due diligence to carry that on as well. I've been injured from running, so I've been kind of like doing other physical training. I've been like weightlifting with a friend and doing some like resistance training to strengthen my knee because my patellar tendon is jacked right now. So I do need to revisit that goal. Thank you for reminding me. But that is something I always wanted to do, is just always be ready for the opportunity for when I get the chance to go to space. And I did make a big series of videos on TikTok about that because I was, I never wanted to, if that letter came, Tan, that you said, I didn't want to give anybody a reason to tell me, no, you can't go. Like, hey, you're out of shape, or, you're not healthy enough. Aside from my knee, I am still really healthy, but for the most part, except for my Taco Bell habit.
I was gonna say, stay away from the Taco Bell, and you might be okay.
Right, I'm doing well. My last physical was fantastic. My blood work came out great, so I think we're doing good.
Nick's good. Nick's good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I want to take a quick moment here before we kind of close up shop, because it's 2 hours already on the show here. But I wanted to thank everybody who has been supporting the Galactic Window Space podcast. All of you who are members, thank you so much. For those of you who have gifted memberships, like Artie Jones in the chat, thank you for helping other people enjoy the podcast just a little bit more. Don't you guys forget you have access to special emojis in the chat, and we'll be swapping those out soon. And there's other bonus features that you get by being a member as well. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for those of you who have been giving supers in the chat as well. We greatly appreciate it. All of the financial support you guys are giving is going towards making this year the best year yet for the podcast. And we're going to be revealing some of those secrets very soon. So appreciate you all. Thank you so much for doing that. We appreciate every single one of you.
You guys are, I don't think you guys realize how awesome you are. Mm-hmm. For real. So, yeah, just what Nick said. Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, oh,
love it.
What you chuckling about?
Just how awesome the chat is. So Ariel said, "Don't diss the bell."
Never, dude. I'm still like kind of reeling that last week on the show I had Taco Bell for lunch and then Taco Bell on the show for dinner again. Like double dipping the bell, dude. Man. That was a brutal day.
Love it. It was awesome.
It was so good. What?
Yo, no freaking way, dude. No way. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's crazy. Jeez, dude. Holy crap. Oh my god. Richard Jones, thank you so freaking much. Dude, we might have to get some Taco Bell after this episode.
I think you're right, bro. A couple of these in the chat, everybody. Holy smokes. Thank you. Wow. Again, it is so not necessary. I mean, but my goodness.
Richard Jones, yeah.
Thank you. We hope that you, in exchange, found great value in this episode. Hopefully you learned something and that you feel energized about space. That's all. That's all I ask. If you can confirm that, then I'm happy.
Yeah. Also, I just wanted to honorable mention here. Blythe said, it seems like we have a lot of the same group every week, and I love it. Can't wait for more. It says there's 16 people here. It's been a steady 16. I seen at the peak, it was up to 20. That is honestly a lot more than, I don't know, Nick. I don't know what I was expecting, but it just wasn't this many people, especially for a show that's still, I would say, fairly new. We're on episode 32. So, if I'm being transparent, sometimes there's this fear that there's going to be like 2 people in here, which is fine because these shows live on. So even if you can't catch them live, people can always come back. But for us to have, like right now, 17 viewers, I am just blown away. So if you are one of those viewers right now and you're hearing my voice right at this moment, thank you for watching. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing your precious time watching. Because I know these podcasts can be late, 9 p.m., especially if you're on the coast, like on the east, it can be pretty late. So thank you guys so much.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself, man. Hey, thanks for wording it better than I ever could have.
You guys are awesome.
And, go ahead, Tan.
No, you go ahead.
You said something about, or you quoted Blue Eyed about seeing the same people in here. You guys who have been around for a while and who keep coming back, even if you've only been here for like 2 weeks in a row or something, you're part of the core of the community that we're trying to build here in kind of the space realm of YouTube. And no matter what capacity that you show up in, whether you watch for 10 minutes or the whole 2 hours, you guys are creating an influence. At every chat you put in the live chat, you are making friendships with other people that you may otherwise never meet, all sharing the same mutual interest of space and astronomy. And it's humbling that even happens at all. Oh, and that's reminding me that literally today is the 4-year anniversary of the Orbital Alliance YouTube channel. The Orbital Alliance was born today. And I was on this before any other platform. Yeah. I was on TikTok until 2021, I think. So or late 2021, 2022, maybe. I can't remember. But today is the 4th birthday of my YouTube channel. So it's
dude, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
That's huge.
Yeah. I'm really happy. And to look back, I think at this point, within the first week, I think I had 100 subscribers. And that was a massive thing. But I wasn't live streaming, and there was no way to measure the impact of what I was doing, really. But you guys being here and continuing to show up and watching, you guys talk about this with someone else, and that's blowing my mind. And I think 4 years ago, I would have been blown out of my seat to think that there's people who want to show up to the stuff that we're facilitating and the stuff that we're hosting here, and who are excited to learn more and are also as excited about the future as we are. And I would say, if you were to ask me that question, I'm would 4 years ago me be proud of where we are? Absolutely. 100% absolutely. And if this is any sort of indication of where we're going, a year from now at the 5th anniversary, this is going to be electric. It's going to be a different creature, and I'm so ready for it. So thank you guys for being the beginning of hopefully something very cool. And I hope that there's a greater, broader impact on the world in a very, very positive way, because of you guys. Because I would just be making stupid videos by myself if none of you showed up. So it's literally all because of you guys. So thank you. That's my long-winded commentary.
Dude, you deserve it, man. I also want to make a real quick mention. There's a couple of videos that you have done, Nick. And I don't know if you guys have seen his other videos, but if you haven't, you need to watch it. Some of these videos are just some of the best videos I've seen. It was the observatory one, the Yorkshire Observatory.
Yerkes Observatory?
Yorkes. Yeah, Yorkes Observatory. And then the one where you met the astronaut.
Chris Hadfield.
Chris Hadfield.
Mm-hmm.
That one is an incredible video, and it's just, yeah, dude, you've come a long way. So if you guys please get a chance, check out right after this video, check out the Chris Hadfield video that Nick had done. It is extremely well put together. And dude, I'm grateful to be on this journey with you. So thank you. And happy anniversary, man.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your support, dude, and the little plug. I appreciate you guys watching those videos if you can. They were super fun to make, and hopefully not the last ones of that sort to be made.
All these Taco Bell comments.
Deluxe Cravings box calling my name. Ooh. Mm-hmm.
I might have to get some.
You were blown out of your seat because you ate too much Taco Bell.
Oh my god.
Ooh, rocket fuel. Who needs Methylox when you have baked beans, dude?
Oof.
That was a rocket joke.
Watch the videos, guys. Yeah, watch the videos. It's 11:11.
Make a wish.
What do you say, Nick? Shall we make it like a baby and head out?
Yes. Yeah, I think that sounds good.
I'm not used to the outro, so I'll let you take the wheel.
Yeah, no worries, dude. I got you. Thank you, everybody, for showing up here, for being with us in the live chat, for listening, watching, wherever, whenever you are in space and time. We appreciate all of you. Be sure to tune in next week and every week, every Monday night at 9 p.m. Central Time in the United States, right here on YouTube. You can also find the podcast on YouTube Music under the podcast tab. Just search for the Galactic Window. And we will see you back here on Monday, January 13th for episode 33. Thank you so much. We'll see you all on the other side.